While sitting, keep on practicing, not just wandering away all the time. Otherwise, you get used to it. If you do it, you can do it, but you don't usually do it. Our mind is natured to drift away and wander away towards things that we used to. If you used to having wandering away mind all the time, then you keep on wandering away. So Dhamma is not something difficult. You just have to be self-aware and learn the truth of the body and mind of your own on and on. It is difficult because we're not used to learning about ourselves. We're only used to pay attention to things outside. That's why Buddha said that to practice Dhamma is not difficult. It's only difficult for ones who do not practice. For those who don't practice, is when they let their minds, according to its will, keep on wandering away. When you think of Dhamma practice, they're trying to focusing, controlling their body and mind. Because it's two extremes. The ones it's wandering away, and the other one is controlling yourself. It keeps swinging like this. So other peoples in this world, it's used to wandering away. For Dhamma practitioners, when they are alone still, they're wandering away. Whenever they think of Dhamma practice, they keep on controlling themselves because they're used to doing that. And this morning, there was one monk. This monk in this monastery, he very used to controlling his mind. He's been practicing from about like 30 years ago. He's keep controlling like this, holding the mind and controlling it, and thought that this is Dhamma practice. But actually, it's actually like a pendulum. It keeps swinging left and right. One extreme is when the mind wanders off to think about things, and the other extreme is when controlling, so it becomes tight, condensed. So that's why the mind never reached the middle path. The middle path is something is not going to two extremes. The extreme of wandering away and the extreme of controlling themselves. So the nature of the rest of us, whenever we don't practice, we wandering away and enjoying. But whenever we practice Dhamma, we try to control ourselves. These are what we used to. We never get used to knowing things in a neutral way. The mind never walks the middle path. To practice Dhamma, no matter how many years you practice, it's gonna be so. You're just getting better at controlling yourself, but at the end of the day, it's still controlling. So try to train yourself, try to create this new normality. In the beginning, you try to develop your inclinations toward knowing the mind wandering away. Most of the time, it's wander off to think of other things, because it's get used to doing that. They keep wandering all day and night. Even at night, they're dreaming. During the day, they keep on thinking. Actually, the same pattern. Wandering away all the time. Forget about the body and mind. Therefore, we come to practice to create new normality, new inclinations to become self-aware. By practicing, meditate on an object, whatever object limitation is fine. Just keep practicing and try to observe your mind, understand your mind. For example, breathing in, breathe out, do, and then keep on breathing. We don't aim for calmness, happiness, goodness. We keep on breathing, breathe out, do. Once the mind wanders off, to think of other things, forget about the breathing, forget about the Buddha. Be aware of that. Do not forbid it. It can drift away, that's fine. But whenever they drift away, try to be aware that you'll forget about the meditation object, you forget about the Buddha and breathing. Keep on practicing like this till the mind can firmly recognize the minds that wander off, forget about itself. And then, whenever you forget about yourself or wander away, the mindfulness will become quicker and quicker, will rise quicker and quicker. Whenever you drift away, no so, drift again, no so again, that's become the automatic mindfulness. We have to train so that if you want to really attain the Dhamma, you have to train until you attain the automatic mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom. If it's not automatic yet, then the liberation wouldn't come. You wouldn't be attained. It's still matter with the greed, intention. If there's still greed, intention, the mental with the craving, the mind will start creating realms. And it's still the world. You won't go to ultra-mundane, which is ultra-mundane. So we have to train ourselves to attain automatic mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom. And the chance of attainment will become likely. At first, we try to train ourselves to attain the automatic mindfulness by meditating on objects. Once the mind wanders off, leaves the objects, no so. We don't forbid it to happen. But once it leaves the object, no so, leaves again, no so again. Or you can meditate on an object, and once the mind go to see, stare at the object meditation, for example, breathing in, breathe out, though the mind go to see the object, knows that the mind go to see the object. So we try to be aware of these phenomena as much as we can. The phenomena of going to these two extremes. So meditation object is a must. No matter how spectacular you are, you have to have the meditation objects. At the beginning, meditate on an object. Try to find the home base for the mind to rest, to reside. That home base or object meditation you can use on your own. Some people like to live in a townhouse. Some people like to live in residence, the old style house, like very high pillar. Some people like to live in a condominium. So it's up to each people's demeanor. So we have to find a place for mind to reside. So you have to observe yourself which object meditations that makes your mind relaxed. Be with that object. But do not stuck in that object meditations that become relaxed and rest and enjoying on and on. You need to have the mindfulness all along the way of the practice. By meditating on an object, for example, like myself, I did breathing meditation, and including the Buddha breathing, count 1, breathing, breathe out, no, count 2, 200, and started it. I've been doing this every day. Nobody forced me to do this. I just learned from the master just a little bit. He taught me to do this particular way, and I keep on doing it no matter what. So at first, I don't quite grasp the principle of Dhamma practice. I start breathing, breathe out, no, counting numbers. Once the mind becomes calm, the counting is gone. Once become calmer and calmer, all the mantras gone as well, just the breath left. Once it becomes calmer and calmer, then the breath gone as well. It becomes the light luminous object. And the mind flows towards that light luminous light, I couldn't be aware of that. Then the mind become deluded and see different things, bizarre things, and then one day I realized that once I go to see different things like that, it's kind of useless, and it's cause a lot of distress. It's not substantial. So I try to increase the strength of mindfulness. When the mind flow towards that luminous light, and I become aware and become stable. I keep on practicing like this till the mind becomes stable. It didn't wander off to that object of meditation anymore. Unlike the rest of us, when we breathing, the mind wander off to the breath. Some people observing the arising and falling of abdomens, the mind wander off to see the abdomens. You moving hands, the mind wander off to the hands. If the mind wander off to the hands, feet, abdomen, the breath, the chanting mantra, and you wasn't aware of it, the mind will become focused on that particular objects and still, and you think that this is Dhamma practice. But in fact, actually you wander away. You're not practicing, you're still wandering away. It's wander off to over-focusing on the object. So sometimes you meditate on objects like chanting Buddha, just for a moment, and you wander off to think of other things, and you realize that, I just wander off to think. And or meditating on objects, when the mind wander off to think of other things, no so, wander off again, no so again, till the mind can firmly recognize the phenomena of wander off to think. Once the wandering away to think happens again, then the mindfulness can recognize that you just drift away to think. Once the mind firmly recognizes these phenomena, then the automatic mindfulness will arise. This is when automatic mindfulness arises, because of the mind can firmly recognize the phenomena. To achieve that, you have to be able to see the phenomena more often by meditating on an object and try to observe the phenomena of the mind. I really recommend observing the phenomena of the mind, because this is the shortcut to the Dhamma practice. But if anyone cannot observe the mind, they can observe the body. Instead, they gradually walk in the path till they can enter the mind. That's why the master said that you observe the body in order to see the mind, to observe the mind to see the Dhamma. If you use this kind of methods by meditating on an object that you're competent and knowing, and try to be aware of your own mind, observe your own mind. For example, chanting Buddha, when the mind wander off the things, no so. If the mind wander off to focus on the Buddha, no so again. If you breathe in self-aware, breathe out self-aware, the mind wander off to the other places, and you'll be aware of that. At first, it might take some time for you to recognize this, but if you keep on training yourself, the mind can firmly recognize these phenomena of wandering away, and it becomes quicker and quicker. The mindfulness becomes frequent and quicker and quicker. At first, the mindfulness it takes long distance in order to happen, but after years of training, this kind of distance will become shorter and shorter, become so frequent. Keep on training. Whenever the mind can firmly recognize the phenomenon of wandering away, the automatic mindfulness will arise. Whenever you can firmly recognize the phenomenon of wandering away, the automatic mindfulness will arise. To achieve that, you have to see the wandering away mind more often. Once the mind leaves the objects, no so, leaves again, no so again. So that whenever you're wandering away, it just no so right away. So sometimes you might incline towards focusing on the object, no so. For those who never practice, it's easy for them to learn this. But if their mind stuck in the object, stuck in overgassing, then they have to be patient to practice. For those who stuck in these overgassing, whenever they think of the Dhamma practice, the mind will flow towards the same pattern. like 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 if you like to do breathing meditations, whenever you think of the Dhamma practice, the mind will go towards, goes up to the breath. Or sometimes you try to observe the middle of your chest, condensed in your chest. Whenever you think of Dhamma practice, it becomes condensed again. This is the method I used when I was a layperson. When I practice in Dhamma, this is the know-how. Sometimes stuck in some kind of phenomena, but you didn't realize how come you stuck on that. Sometimes it's like empty and luminous. Keep on practicing is become empty and luminous and relaxed and just happiness. But the mind is actually outside. I couldn't realize that. But you keep on observing, you see that the minds wander off outside. Whenever you become self-aware, the mind becomes bright and outside like this all the time. So what should I do? I can observe what might be the cause of it. So I observe it by start from waking up in the morning. When you are asleep, you don't have intention. At the moment you wake up in the morning, you don't have intention to practice Dhamma yet. So after a while, when you start to think to practice Dhamma, then the mind will move and shift towards the places used to be. For example, if you used to go to the place, a particular place, or for example, in your middle of your chest, it's just gonna happen. So you can start observing since the moment you wake up in the morning, because during our sleep you don't have intention. The people have very intentions when they all the time, except when they at night they can observe themselves. But at the moment they wake up, there's not much of the faking or intentions. It's very normal and original you. So as the moment of your waking up in the morning is a golden time for Dhamma practice. At the moment you wake up in the morning, don't just keep on lingering. Whenever you think of Dhamma practice, the mind will keep on working. For example, it will shift towards a particular pattern that you're used to doing. Some people flowing this way, some people flowing the other way. They're used to be doing these things. If you could see the mind that shift towards different directions and work in different pattern, if you could see the mind that drift away or moved away like that, that moving away mind will fall away and it will give rise to the stable mind. So at the moment you wake up, you do not keep on thinking of things. A lot of people thinking in a lust way, sensuous way. Whenever you think of that, as soon as you think of Dhamma practice, they keep on adjusting their mind. So be aware of this. If you could see this, then all day long, you keep on faking things. And there's no authentic self. By observing that like this, you can see. So start practicing since the moment you wake up in the morning till you go to sleep at night. This is all day practice. Except for the time that you have to work that requires thinking. You cannot practice Dhamma because your mindfulness needs to be with the work. Your samadhi needs to be with the work and wisdom as well. These are mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom belongs to the worldly being, to the worldly affairs. The rest of the time, you shouldn't ignore them. Training yourself to be accustomed to practicing Dhamma whenever you have free time. Whenever you think of Dhamma practice, you can observe what the process of mind is. Trying to be aware of it. That I keep on saying like this because I've seen this monk for like 30 years, already 30 years, but their mind's locked in. She's got actually better. It takes time. It takes time for them to get better, but he's still used to doing it. The mind will be like this all the time. And you can see it. You can see that the mind's going to that loop. You can observe in the morning, the moment you wake up. Whenever you think of the Dhamma practice in the morning, it will go into this pattern. If you'll be aware of it, then the mind won't flow away, sending out to see, go to that place again. So it's very difficult for those who overgot things, and if you keep on practicing very intensely, it takes a long time to fix. But for those who never practice, it's very, if they take action to start practicing, that there's nothing to fix. We have only to fix them. One thing is the laziness, because they're lazy, they don't want to start practicing. So if they become diligent and try to warn themselves that our life is shorter and shorter all the time, it's keeping shorter and shorter all day. It's only a month now, it's only almost a year now past, and you have to evaluate yourself what kind of things you've gained. Have you gained improvement of your mind or just laziness? Keep on training you and warning yourself. Nobody can warn you. The wise ones will have to warn themselves. Warn yourself not to be careless, reckless. Those who never practice are the reckless people. You have to warn yourself that our life is shorter and shorter. One of the masters said, Luangpu Tet, he said that those who are lazy, they have unlimited amounts of time to practice Dhamma because of keep on taking birth and rebirth endlessly, because they never start practicing again. They are whenever if you go to see Prasi, and they wouldn't understand because the mind is very lazy and didn't want to practice Dhamma. So you have to energize your mind to become strong. You have to fight. If you want to gain something good, you have to fight. You have to be patient. Do not just keep enjoying and day by day passed by. If you keep enjoying day by day, it's going to be empty at the end of the day. When I was a teenager, I never really liked to get involved with other people. If I have to go talking to, like, for example, the mingling like that, I think it's a waste of time. It's not very useful. Like, you should keep chatting and laughing. There's nothing got better. You consume each day. Keep on chatting and playing, enjoying yourself with people. So I don't want to get involved with people that much. When I go to school or workplace, once done, I go back home. I don't go partying outside. I don't want to get involved or social mingling. If it is not necessary, I wouldn't go. I only attend like funerals. Other ceremonies or events, I just ignore them. For example, weddings. I don't want to go. I won't go. If I'm not going, they're still being wed. So I spend the rest of my time training myself, and then it gives a very good result. In my generation, during the circle of friends, they like to make the most of their time by partying and make their time worth by partying and enjoying their life. But now like 1/3 of them just passed away, and from my age, but they don't attain anything. But for me, I'm very diligent at Dhamma practicing and learning Dhamma. I have the Dhamma as my friend, and I developed the calmness and happiness with myself. So I choose my path, my own path. I choose. If you want to choose to stay with the world, you'll be with the world. But if you're trying to searching within your body and mind and learning about the body and mind, you can transcend the world. So you can choose for yourself. This is the karma law. If you want to you get involved with the world, you get in the world. But if you pay interested in the Dhamma learning, you gain the Dhamma. You can choose for your own self. Nobody can force you. So I don't really condemn you if you're being lazy. I let go. It's up to you. If anyone's practicing Dhamma, I would give them loving kindness. Anyone's lazy, I just become neutral and indifferent. Because I think it's normal, because samsara is very long. Because you don't tolerate the suffering. You don't see the suffering. You didn't realize that every time you were born, you passed away. Yesterday, I talked to a monk, a very venerable monk, and I said that every time that the mind makes contact with the world, there's a burden arises. Whenever the eye see forms, the burden arises. When the ears hear sound, the burden arises. When the nose smells, the body feels, the mind make contact with the thoughts, it causes burden, causes the process of working of the mind. So keep on observing like this, you'll see that this mind, you can't forbid it to make contact with the world. Once it make contact with the world, you can't make it unwavering. The mind itself is a suffering. It's the greatest suffering of them all. So if you keep on observing, you can see that whenever the six sandals make contact with the world, the mind was struggling, the mind was striving and become suffering. If you could see like this, then at some point the mind can let go of the mind. Because it is actually the suffering itself why we still hold on to it. But we can let go of it because we can see that it's suffering. We can't let go of the body or our eyes because we think that the eyes bring happiness. You get to see things. You can't let go of the ears because the ears brings happiness, good, like the admiration. We cannot let go of the nose because it brings happiness for us. We cannot let go of the tongue because it brings us happiness. We cannot let go of the body because the body brings happiness as well. If you keep on practicing and you could see that apart from suffering, there's nothing else arising. There's nothing arising and falling away but suffering. The six sandals are impermanent. It's not, it wouldn't last long. It cannot be controlled truly. You keep on observing like this and you become bored out of these six sandals, the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, taste. Becomes bored of the sensual pleasures as well. So the mind can transcend the world that we're used to, these Kamavajan world. And the rest of them is up to the world inside, like the world that the mind creates. But if you can see that whenever the mind make contact with the world, it causes suffering, it can let go of the mind. It can let go of the mind, it can let go of the whole world. This is a part of Dhamma practice. It's not too difficult. At first, you have to have the fighting mind, the encouraging mind. If you give up on the defilements, do not talk about the Dhamma practice, you cannot achieve it. But if you have a encouraging mind to fight against defilements, whether it's sometimes you're losing, sometimes you win the battles, sometimes you're losing the battles, that's very normal. You have to realize that today you lose the battles, you lose to the defilements, but you realize that the next day you're gonna make it better. You have to be strong. You have to encourage yourself to fight against. Do not just depend on the masters or other people. If you come to learn with me, if you depend on me, some people, if I'm very close to them, I would just condemn them. Do not be stupid. You have to depend on yourself, not me. How could you depend on me? I already told you the path and the way to practice, but you didn't do it. So your mind is to be brave and to be energized to fight against defilements. If you start by giving up, then you've given up anyway. But if you have the encouraging mind to fight against defilements, you see that today you might be losing, but the next day you have to be encouraging the fight. I keep on practicing when I when I was lay person, I see the mind was caged. The mind is not freed. It was caged in a capsule. This capsule is very strong. It's very tactile. Even though I try to determine the mind to like have the lightning strikes, thunder strikes, but it couldn't break apart this capsule. And I realized that I was born in this cage, this prison. I was born in this cage, and I grow in the cage. And how could I die in this cage? I have to break apart this cage. So the mind is very determined to be like this. So that's why it's keep encouraging and fighting. If you become disheartened, discouraged by just walking occasions and become disheartened, you feel disheartened is as if there's no fighter in your blood. You have to fight. You have to encourage yourself. As long as you still have the defilement dominate you, you have to fight by developing the mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom, not by the sheer force. Just be aware of the phenomena as they really are on and on. And once you can see the good phenomena, happy phenomena, calm phenomena, the mind is satisfied with those phenomena also. If you become satisfied with happiness, calmness, and goodness, it's not good. If your mind becomes evil, bad, suffering, you dislike it, know so as well. If your mind like this phenomena, know so, dislike it, know so, keep on knowing this. So at first, you might see the phenomena as they are, and you become delicate and knowing, and no reactions of the phenomena of the mind towards the phenomena. For example, aversion arises. Other people wouldn't be able to see it. They only see the person that makes them angry. But for the Dhamma practitioners, when aversion arises, know so that aversion arises as arising. Just after that, once you become competent in practicing Dhamma, you realize that once the aversion arises, you dislike it. You want it to go away. Just be aware of the dislike. And aversion is already the past and dislike is the present. So we have to be aware that the mind is like the aversion, or the mind is like the suffering. At first, you might be aware that suffering arises. When the suffering arises, you dislike it. The heart dislike it, knows that the mind dislike the suffering. So when you're practicing, you have to come to gain access to the mind. At first, you see the emotions or objects outside. For example, the beautiful girl. A lot of people keep seeing the beautiful girl once, but for the Dhamma practitioners, when they see a beautiful girl, the greed arises. Be aware of it. The lust arises. Be aware of that. After that, you could see that it's not good. The lust still there. How it's very sensuous. When you you dislike it. The mind develop the aversion, the mind dislike it. You dislike the lust. The beautiful women is the first object. The second object is actually the lust. And the third one is the dislike towards the lust. It's in the present. It's keep on cascading like this. You see the beautiful women outside. That's the first object. When the lust arises, know so. If the mind is like the lust, know so as well. If you crave for, you wanting the lust to go away, know so as well. You have to keep on learning like this. Do not like sending the mind. It's not like sending out the mind, just overcasting on the mind. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to fix. Just try to be aware from moment to another moment. It's like I said, if you see the beautiful woman, you like it, you like her. Lust rises, no so. If your lust rises and dislike it, this is the defilement you want to get to go away because you dislike it, no so. If you want to going away, you want it to go away, no so as well. Keep on observing in a delicate way and more like this towards your heart. When you could see that like and dislike like this, one is falls away. When they fall away, there's no craving, there's no wanting. If you like it, like wanting will rise. As you wanting to be with you, want to stay as long as you can. or you dislike it, you want it to go away. If the mind likes it, no so, dislike it, no so. Being aware of these, then there will be no craving, there will be no wanting. Once there's no wanting or craving, the mind becomes calm and serenity. The mind will stop mental formations for a moment. Keep on practicing and we can quit the mental formations for a moment. It's not difficult if you start practicing Dhamma, but if you become disheartened, given up, we want to take a rain check, postpone, procrastinating, no matter how many lives you lived, then you cannot move on. Or if you're overcasting, keep on focusing, then no matter how lives passed on, you're still overcasting. Back then, I saw a doctor. He liked to do walking meditations and overcasting the body constantly. No matter how many times I told him, he couldn't understand. It's been many years already, and I saw him walking meditations in a school of practice, and become pity at him. He walked in the same pattern, and I told him that years ago your mind was like this, and many years pass by, your mind's going to be like this because you are used to overgassing on the body like that. So his mind become wavering. So he felt that he would want to learn. For example, at morning when the mind overgassing, it feel overgassing in that particular way. So the first number one enemy that blocks our path of Dhamma practice is actually overgassing. When wandering away, that's the second enemy. These two enemies are very evil, are very unfortunate because it wouldn't take us towards the transcending the world. For those who never practice, if they observe their minds from moment to another moment, when the eyes see beautiful girl, do not just see the beautiful girl. If you see handsome man, do not just see the handsome man. When the mind likes him or her, no so. If these kind of defilement arises, dislike it, know that dislike. If couldn't aware of it, then the other fabrication will arise. For example, how to get rid of the lust, how to get rid of these defilements. There will be like fabricating, making action, creating actions like do these particular things, whether it's good or not. The mind will full of like doing, taking actions, fabricating. If you feel that how do I do this? How do I make it correct? That's when you don't have the true understanding about the Dhamma practice. Actually, you don't do anything. Just know as it really is. Know in the present moment. This is for those who never practice. But for those who are overcasting, you can observe at the beginning of your day when moment you wake up, it will go the same path. Because you see, observe your mind on and on. When the eye see forms, you hear sound, the mind thinks. We don't forbid it to happen. And the eye see form like beautiful flowers. You want it to take your home and pot your plant. The mind likes the flowers and wants to take it in possession. No so. From moment to another moment. Keep on practicing and you'll become competent. But for those who are overcasting, you can observe when the moment you wake up, the mind will go to the same pattern. As soon as you be aware of it, then it will get out from that state. In order to recap this and summarize this, I keep on practicing. This is not in a text. I keep on learning from my own heart and mind so that I can tell you. Practice on your own. Keep on training yourself. Meditate on an object. You need to have an object of meditation. And don't force the mind to be still. Have the observations as a home base for the point of interest, not for making the mind still. For example, chanting Buddha, breathing though, this is the point of interest for the mind to see. If the mind drift away to think about the things, no so. We don't have to draw in. You don't do anything else, just when you know so, and that's it. Or if your mind setting out to see the breath, no so as well. Meditate on an object, and once the mind become aware of your own mind. If the mind leaves the object of meditation, also the mind wander off to focus on the object also as well. Do this frequently. This is the basics that you have to do. It's a must. Back then when I was undergraduate students in Chulalongkorn University, I went to a society about doing martial arts, and there was one style that is a basic style of these martial arts. Other people doing different styles, but I only do this one style, this one basic, and no matter how many times, how many competitions I've got, I just won all of them because other people just keep on dancing on different styles, but I just do this one basics and I can defeat them. So meditate on an object. The basics is the most important things. When meditate on an object, when the mind leaves the object, so the mind focusing on the object also as well. If you're doing like this, then you become good. Do not worry about that you're not going to be able to do it. The basics is a must, and then you become better and better. It's like these martial arts that I practice, all kind of styles has their own weakness. All kind of style has their own weakness. Likewise, when you're meditating, whenever you're creating something, you're diluting the will of fabrication of mental formations. That's the weakness that falls. So when you're meditating on an object, do not throwing yourself on the mind, wander off to see things, other things, no so. When the mind wander off to overcasting, no so. Do this as much as you can. 7 days, 7 months, 7 years, you have keep doing this. And the rest of it will come. All kind of fruit will come. For example, if the mind wander off to think of other things, no so, the mind sending out to overcasting, no so. You keep on practicing like this, and the ones that know is the mindfulness. Whenever a defilement arises, you have the mindfulness to be aware of it. Then you break the precepts. Don't break the precepts. Your precepts become automatic. Once the mind drift away, so the mind becomes stable, and you gain the stable samadhi. If you meditate on objects when the mind wander off, or the mind wander off to overcasting, you see that the stable mind is impermanent, the focus mind is permanent, the mind stable mind is impermanent. You cannot command the stable mind, command the mind not to forget about the object of meditation. You cannot forbid the mind to focusing on the objects. It's because your inclination, you can't forbid it to happen. That's when the mind is not self. So these kind of basics that I've taught you, for example, meditate on objects and be aware of your mind, you can gain the automatic mindfulness, samadhi, and wisdom. The wisdom is to see the three characteristics. So do not think that all kinds of basics is too easy for you. If you can do this, then you can gain the rest part. Just gain the mindfulness, the right mindfulness, be aware of the body and mind, which is the mindfulness regarding the body and mind. You gain the morality, samadhi, wisdom. Once the morality, samadhi, wisdom are fulfilled, then the noble path will arise automatically. Nobody can create noble path. The noble path will arise on its own when the morality, samadhi, and wisdom are fulfilled. Once the morality, samadhi are fulfilled, because of the mindfulness. If your mindfulness is strengthened because you keep on cultivating mindfulness regarding to the full foundation of mindfulness and be aware of your own mind. Once the mind wander off from the objects, and also when the mind focuses on the object, and also as well. And then even the slight movement of the mind, you'll be aware of it, and they give rise to the morality. The mind will gain access to normality and won't be overwhelmed by the defilements. The mind will become stable and develop the right samadhi to see the mind work on its own. The mind is not self, the mind doesn't belong to us. You keep on practicing, then you realize that the mind is the suffering. The ultimate suffering is actually you see whenever you see the suffering itself. That's a bit of talk today. Even this a bit of talk can take like decades to practice. Luangpu Dun gave talk to a particular topic. I spent like 22 years in order to achieve what he told me. Even though I'm practicing every day, not just skip and go. Dhamma is not something mysterious. It's subtle but not mysterious. Because anyone if being consistent with that practice and doing enough and correctly, you see and attain the same Dhamma. It's not something mysterious, but it's subtle and deep. For those who are very thick and have a lot of defilements, they wouldn't be able to gain access to this Dhamma. You have to learn about your defilements till you can defeat them, and the mind becomes purified and becomes subtle and subtle. If your mind becomes clean and purified, so ultimately you see the ultimate suffering. Number one. In formal meditations, I do walk meditation about 2 or 3 hours, and my wander off, I can come back very quickly. I have good mindfulness while walking, better than sitting meditation. But while sitting meditation, the mind can become calm easily. The mind is going to sleep state easily. I can observe the body better than the mind. I could see that I couldn't control anything truly. I think I can separate the arrogance and cultivate wisdom. The Paul said that keep on practicing, you going into the right path, keep on doing. But at this moment, the mind is off the base. Could you see that? The mind is outside. The mind is with the screen. Know that the mind is outside. Do not force it. Do not draw it, the mind. Just know it as it really is. You see that mind outside is impermanent as well. If you see the phenomena correctly according to truly happen, and the stable mind will arise automatically. The minds that in the middle path will arise automatically. It doesn't happen because you've commanded to happen. See, shift like that. The mind now and back then is quite different. You see that? The mind just keep gaining back to yourself. Your practice is good. Keep on practicing. Number 2. Overview practice, the mind becomes more stable. Mind becomes more neutral. Could you kindly advise? Luangpu said that keep on practicing, you practice correctly. But you have to be careful. One thing is you don't let the mind become scattered and become enjoying like that and full of happiness and scattering like that. Knows that the mind is stuck in happiness. So it will become stable again. Now it's good. Now it's correct. But do not creating this. Just be aware of the mind that drift away and you become stable on its own. We don't make it happen. It happens on its own. But if you want to make it happen, then it becomes counterfeit. Good. You got better. Lot. Number 3. During formal meditations, I walk in sitting meditation about 1.5 hours and listen to your Dhamma talk. I'm a Virgin nation. I like to think and restless. During the day, I try to be aware of my own mind. I could see the version that lust arises very often. I could see the body is not mine. While during formal meditations, I see the mind rising and falling away for a moment. But sometimes I can see anything. You give me optimization. The Paul said that do what you do. When you could see the mind rising and falling away, that's when the mind cultivates wisdom. And when it comes to neutral, still with the optimizations, that's samadhi practice. The mind cannot just cultivating wisdom all the time. It just happens for a moment and then comes back stable. And after a while, and then cultivating wisdom, rising and falling away. Do not try to for yourself to observe the rising and falling all the time. That's its nature. Nobody can cultivate wisdom all the time. There's only people who are doing smarta all the time, not wisdom cultivation. So if the mind cultivating wisdom also, the mind becomes still knows as well. Your mind becomes still knows so. And you don't know what to do knows so. Just know from moment to another moment. Now the mind wander off. Send the mind out to sleep. Did you see that? Just retreat the mind a little bit. Do not just sink into the phenomenon like that. Just retreat a little bit. Otherwise, you will focus on the other side. Do you see the mind that wavers? You see with normal mind, natural. But if your mind send it out to see these things, you can see the mind that keep wavering like that. Number 3, just come up a little bit. Now you become restless. Can you stop practicing? Quit it. Stop. Now that mind is good. Normal, natural mind. The mind just now you're creating nonsense. You create. Now you send the mind out to see again. Good, now that's correct. That's when you know that the mind sent out to see, that's when it's correct. You cannot make it happen. You cannot make the correctness happen. Just be aware of the mind that's sending out to see. The mind that's sending out to see will fall away and the awakened mind will rise. The noble mind will rise. Do not just keep on singing and sending out the mind to see like that. Just be aware of it. Before. I can see the body is not myself, but I still hold on to the body. One day I can see that the body is only a flesh, a bag of flesh, and my command it to make it well preserved. My kneecaps are very painful. While sitting, I could see the body is non-self, but my samadhi is collapsed and the mind wander off a long period of time. Meditations, read a lot of 5 hindrances. I come back to the shining mantra, so I realize that my samadhi is not enough. You're seeing correctly. Whenever you do calm samadhi, you have to be aware. You have to know what sort of optimizations that are appropriate for your mind at the moment. For example, you become restless to large extent. If you use the delicate optimizations that are not useful, you can chant mantra, chanting like that. That's appropriate for your situation. Your mind is good. Good. Now the mind drift away. No, so that is drift away. Do not forbid it. Now you try to draw in the mind, no, so as well. You see that you can't enjoy fabricating the mind to be a particular way. As long as you're still fabricating your mind, you wouldn't be able to see the mental information. You wouldn't realize that the mind can fabricate on its own. Do not fabricating it. If it's good, no so. If it's bad, no so. If it's happy, no so as well. Know it's that they really are. We don't try to fabricate or interfere with the phenomenon. If it works on its own, whenever the fabrication arises, you'll be aware of it. If you don't fabricate it yourself, now your inclined mind is like that. Gently. Know that you incline the mind. But if you want to do calmness samadhi, you can do like this. But if you want to cultivate wisdom, do not incline the mind like that. Because you see that delusion kicks in. The mind becomes drowsy. See, if you incline the mind like that, it's not good. Because delusion will interfere. Just be aware, self-aware in a relaxing way. Sometimes you drift away, sometimes you know, so that's okay. Do not afraid of the minds that become wander away, and then you'll try to incline the mind towards that stillness. You can keep on chanting more often. I actually chanting 5 times a day. Number 5.
รู้ทันสังขารที่เกิด
I be aware of the mental formations happens and see the rising and falling from its contributory factors. Even though I haven't observed it, but I can see the suffering of the phenomena that is uncontrollable and cannot command. And if I hold on to it, I can let go. If you see it, when it's observed the object and the unwholesomeness go away, you see the craving and changes of mental formations more quicker. And the Paul said that do not let the wisdom too advanced. When you observe the phenomena, you observe in the present moment from moment to another moment. You have too much wisdom. Your samadhi cannot keep up, and it will become reckless. Just feel aware, be aware of yourself. Do not incline mind like that. Just get backward. Just retreat a little bit. Just retreat a little bit. Open your eyes. Open your eyes and be with the world. Be with the world like this. You see the world when the changes arise, know so. When the eyes hear sound, if the mind changes, know so. If the mind thinks and the changes with the mind happen, know so as well. Do not incline the mind at just now. Doing just now make your illusion kicks in very easily. Observe the body breathing with the mind. Observe the mind the feeling. Do not think. Just observe the mind's breathing with the mind. Observe the mind that become aware. If the mind wander off to think, do not forbid it to happen. Just know that it drift away. Just be aware like that and try to observe. If the body moves, the mind moves, and also just be aware, sense that. Do not incline the mind like that, otherwise you're stuck in that phenomenon. We see that the mind keep processing all the time, wavering. This is very punctual. It is very precisely word vocab terms. When it's do not just want to have a lot of wisdom. It's wisdom through thinking. We just want to witness the things that currently happen at the moment. Don't have to know a lot of things, just know the present. Number 6. In formal meditations of sitting meditation for about half an hour, during the day, I observe the body breathing and the mind taking turns. Just hold on a sec. Number 5, this is what is wrong. You gently incline the mind like that and makes delusion comes in. Just become self-aware, not incline the mind like that. You incline the mind toward that laziness of the mind. Number 6. Number 6. During formal meditations, I sit in meditation for half an hour. During the day, I observe the body breathing, taking turns with the mind. During sitting meditation, I see the body breathing is observed. I can see the mind arising and falling for 5 to 6 times. The mind converge and become light and return to self, and the mind leaves. I think that the body and mind are not us. There's no self and no us. then become blossom and
เกิดในข
joyful.
ณะจิตเดียว
It
โดยไม่
happens
ตั้ง
just
ใจ
for a moment
ควร
without
ปฏิบัติต่
intention.
อไปอย่างไรครับ
And
ก็ทำอย่าง
what
นี้
should I practice
ทำไป
next? You
ไม่ต้อง
do
คิ
what
ด
you
เยอะ
do. You don't have to think a lot.
ทำถูกแล้วก็ทำไป
You're doing correctly and you keep on practicing.
เบอร์ 7
Number 7.
อดคิดเยอะไม่ได้เบอร์ 6
You're still
Tầm
overthinking.
hay,
Number
tầm
6.
tủ
Keep
là
on
tầm
practicing. If you're doing correctly, that's
Mệt
fine. Keep on
เบอร์
practicing.
7
Carry on.
เคยติดเพ่ง
I used to
ตอนแรก
stuck
คิ
in
ดว่าดี
discussing.
ขึ้น
At first, I
สัมผั
thought
สกับ
I
แข
was
นที่หาย
better
ไป
because
เห็น
of the
มีวิท
pain
ยุ
in
ส่ง
my
สัญญาณเป็นคลื่น
hands.
จึ
I
ง
could
ถามจิต
see
ว่า
the
สุดท้าย
the
แล้วเครื่อง
signals
ส่ง
of
สั
the
ญญาณ
radio
ใช่ไหม
waves,
จิต
and
บ
I
อกว่า
asked
ใช่
my
แล้ว
mind,
เครื่
but
องรับจะพัง
ultimately
แล้
the
วจิตย้อน
receptors
กลับ
will
มาเห็นการแยกเป็นสัดส่วน แล้ว
broken,
รวมกัน
and I
เป็น
could
ก้อน
see
เหมื
the
อนเดิม
separate
อยาก
things
เร่งป
and
ฏิบัติ
then
ต่อ แล้วรวม
combine
ไม่
as
ทัน
one again.
ก็กลับไป
I
เพ่ง
try to
จนเจ็บแขนเหมือน
accelerate
เดิ
in my
ม
practice, so
ฟัง
I
คำ
come
ชี้แนะไป
focusing
ก็
till
อยู่ที่รู้
there's
ทัน
pain
นะ
in my hands
ถ้ารู้
again.
ทันก็ถูกแล้วล่ะใช้ได้
Luangpu said that
รู้ไม่
it's
ทัน
just
ก็หล
up
ง
to
ไปความ
whatever
ปรุงแต่ง
what you whether you know or not. If
รู้
you
สึกเอา
not knowing it and you're deluded in
ดู
fabrication,
ซิ
it's
วิท
just
ยุจะพังเมื่อ
become
ไหร่
self-aware and have to see
ตอน
whether
เนี้
the
ยจิต
receiver
นิ่ง
will
อยู่
be
นิดหนึ่ง
broken or
รู้สึก
not.
ไหมยัง
Now
นิ่
your
ง
mind
นิ่ง
stuck
ทื่
in
อๆอยู่นิด
stillness.
หนึ่ง
Did you see that?
มันไม่ได้
It's
อิส
just
ระ
still
ไม่
a
ได้
little
เคลื่อน
bit.
ไหว
It's
ไป
not like
ตามธรรม
really
ชาติ
free. It doesn't moving according to its nature.
ยังติดล็อกอยู่นิดหนึ่ง
You're
นะ
still locked in a little bit.
อย่าไปหามัน
Do not
เริ่ม
try
ต้น
to
เอาใหม่
find it.
เว
You
ลา
can
ทำ
start
ผิด
again.
โยนทิ้งเลย
When
เริ่ม
it's
ต้น
wrong,
รู้สึกใหม่
you leave
ไม่
that.
ต้องไปนั่งแก้
You
ของ
start
เก่า
a new leaf. You're back to
รู้สึ
square
ก
one.
ตัว
Should not try
อ
to
ยู่กับปัจ
fix
จุบัน
this
ขึ้นมา
thing. Just
นะ
become
แล้วก็ดู
self-aware.
มันทำ
Present
งานไป
moment. Just try to observe these things working.
เนี่ยมันใช้ตาไปดูนะ
See, you use your eyes to see.
เอาตาไปดูเมื่อยอะใช้ความรู้สึกไปรู้ ไม่ใช่เอาตาไปรู้
Use
รู้ด้วยความ
feeling
รู้สึก
instead of your eyes. We feel this. We sense it.
รู้
Good.
ด้วยความรู้สึกอย่างนี้แหละ
Know with this your
เบอร์
sensing.
8
Number
เบอร์
8.
8 สวดมนต์นั่งสมาธิ
I'm
เช้า
chanting and
และ
sitting
ก่อนนอนทุกวัน
meditations in the
เห็น
mornings and
จิตอีก
evening
ดวง
at
ยุ
night.
ให้เราโล
I
ภ
can
มาก
see
ขึ้น
the other
ทุกขณะ
minds
จิต
want
ที่
me
คิด
to
เงิน
become
ให้ลด
greedier
ช้า
and greedier.
แต่รู้
When
ทันทุก
I
ครั้งจึงไม่โลภ
when I
เห็นจิตอีกดวง
thinking the
ยุให้
bill
เราอัก
from
ตั
my
นยูต่อ
customers
ผู้
and
มีพระคุณ
the
แต่
minds
รู้
try to
ทัน
make
จึง
me
มีความกตัญญูมากขึ้น
unkind to my
เห็นจิต
uh,
อีกดวงยุ
to
ให้
to
นินทา
to
คน
my
อื่น
patrons
แต่รู้
and
ทันจึ
the
งไม่
another
โลภ
minds to try to
เห็น
entice
จิต
me
อิจฉา
to
เห็นอัตตาบ่อยขึ้น
and
ใช้
to
การสว
see
ดมน
this
ต์ก็
not
หายไป
the
ขอ
selfishness
หลวงพ่อแนะนำการป
chanting
ฏิบัติ
so
ค่ะ
it's go away. Can you kindly
ถ้า
advise
กิเลสมันแรงมากนะเราก็
if
ส
there's
ว
a
ด
lot
ม
of
นต์อะไร
defilements,
เนี่
then
ยส
can
มถะ
chanting use the smarter
แต่
practice?
ถ้าสติปัญ
But
ญา
if
อะไร
your
พอเรา
mindfulness
ก็
and
เห็นมัน
wisdom
ทำงาน
is
ไป
is
รู้ทันไป
sufficient,
เรื่
then
อย
you can observe
ๆ
this
โลภ
work
รู้ว่าโล
process
ภ
working.
อิจฉา
If
รู้
it's
ว่าอิจ
greed,
ฉา
know so. If
อั
it's
กตัน
envy,
ยู
know
รู้
so. If
รู้
it's
ไปเรื่อย
unkind, know so.
ๆรู้ไปทีละขณะ
Just
ไป
know from moment to another moment.
ตอนไหนจิตไม่มีแรงแล้วก็ทำสม
When the
ถะ
mind is lack of strength to do the smart practice.
เบอร์ 6 อ่ะ
Number 6,
จิต
your
มันยังเป็นเราอยู่นะ
mind still us.
มันยังไม่ได้ขาด
It
เต็ม
wasn't
ที่ว่าไม่ใช่เรา
like completely gone.
ไปทำอีกนะเบอร์ 6
You have to keep carrying on practicing.
วันนี้เทศให้ฟังเท่านี้นะ
That should be all for today. Already 10.
นี่หลวงพ่อแก่ลงเรื่อยๆนะ
I'm getting older and older, and
อีกหน่อยจะเทศ
my strength is
เหมือนครู
lower.
บาอาจารย์นะ
Back
เทศ20 นาที
in the future, I might just be able to keep talking about 20 minutes. So just trying to help yourself as much as you can.
ได้น้อยลงตามธรรมชาตินะ
According to the nature,
แต่ที่สอน
you
เนี่ย
give
ดุ
talk
เดือด
less
มาก
and
ขึ้น
less.
เรื่อยๆนะ
But it becomes more intense and intense
คล้ายๆ
because
น้ำมันงวดลงเรื่อยๆนะ
like it's become more concentrated, more
เดี๋ยวนี้เว
concentrated.
ลาสอนนะ
Now when
ไม่
I
มีไว้หน้า
teach,
เลยนะ
I don't really
ทั้งพระทั้งโยมยิ่งพระ
even
เอาหนัก
especially for monks, I don't really like I'm really strict with that.
ไปได้แล้ว
That should be all. Go home.